Hello everybody, my name is Mitch and today we're going over Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige, the full card fight predictions. If you're new here, we go over the picks first and then we talk about the reasons why. So let's go ahead and get started. We have Tim Means, Chaos Williams, Ricky Glenn, Alexa Kamor, Casey O'Neill, Sung Choi, Bruno Silva, Roque Martinez, Verna John Jarobi, Sergey Spivak, Marlon, Vera, Tiger Ulanbekov, Diego Lima, and Dan Ige. Those are my picks, and I'll talk about the reasons why. First, we have Tim Means versus Danny Roberts. Tim Means, the Dirty Bird. He's a fun and exciting fighter coming off of 2 wins. On the other hand, we have Danny Roberts. His wins in the UFC, the opponent's records are combined 1-8. So I'm going with Tim Means. I think he's going to take this fight. Next, we have Matt Semmelsberger versus Chaos Williams. For Matt, I didn't think that Carlton Minus has ever looked that great, and Jason Witt, this was a really weird knockout. He just kind of touched him, and the guy fell. It's not his fault. It was the opponents he was given, and he happened to win. For Chaos Williams, though, he has very heavy hands, and if he connects, I think it could be lights out. I think he may connect. I'm going with Chaos Williams with this one. Joaquim Silva versus Ricky Glenn. Silva, for the most part, is pretty flashy and fun, and he's trying to get his opponents out of there from what I can see. The thing is, I don't see Ricky Glenn getting taken out that easily. I think he's going to be pretty durable in there. Both of these fighters haven't fought in a while. We have 2018, end of 2018 for Ricky, and on the other side, the end of 2019 or mid 2019. So I'm excited to see how both of these fighters come back. I like Ricky to tire Silva out and take the later rounds. Nick Negumereanu versus Alexa Kamor. Both of these fighters look like fierce finishers outside of the UFC. Within the UFC, Alexa's looked a little better, so I'm going to go with Alexa Kamor for this fight. He's just looked a tad better in my opinion. Lara Procopio versus Casey O'Neill. Both of these fighters are exciting prospects in my opinion. I like Casey's striking a little better, as well as her slight reach advantage. We see 69 inches there. On the other side, we see 67.5, just a slight reach advantage. I think her striking will be better, and I don't think Laura's some sort of like world beater that's going to stop her from entering as she would like. I'm going to go with Casey O'Neill with this one. Julianna Rosa versus Sung Choi. Shout out to Julianna Rosa. Looks like he's re-entered the UFC after this break with Cage Sport and has not lost since. These have been some pretty good fights and some good finishes. Against the Sean Woodson one, I do think he was losing this fight. It was kind of a toss-up as well going into the third, but there was a chance Sean had both of the first rounds, so that was exciting to see Julian come and win that fight. For Choi, I don't think Choi is going to get finished. I think he's going to be able to pressure, and Julian has really good defense and counterpunching, so I think he's going to allow Choi to kind of come in and be the aggressor, which unfortunately may mean the judges giving it to Choi for aggressing and giving some pretty good output, things like that. So I think Choi is going to take this fight, edge it out with a decision. Wellington Turman versus Bruno Silva. Wellington Turman, for being so young, has fought some stiff competition within the UFC, as we can see here. On the other hand, we have Bruno Silva. I honestly think he's ready to make a pretty promising UFC debut. First round knockout, we like to see that. We like to see all that. I'm going to go with Bruno Silva with this bout. Josh Parisian versus Roque Martinez. Really what it comes down for me is I see that Josh lost to Parker Porter here, and Roque Martinez, I guess, impresses me more than Parker Porter. I know that styles make fights and etc., although he is on a 2-fight loss streak. I know that styles make fights and stuff like that, but I do kind of feel like from what I see, I think Roque Martinez just seems like a better fighter than Parker Porter, who was able to get the W against Josh Parisian. So we'll see how this one goes, but I'm going with Martinez. Verna John Jarobi versus Kanako Murata. Both of these fighters are exciting prospects in the women's divisions. I feel like what it comes down to for me is Verna being a little more experienced and a little more proven in there. She's fought a little more high competition, although it hasn't always gone her way. So I'm going to go with Verna John Jarobi. We'll see if Kanako's momentum can hold up, but I think she's going to take the loss in this one. Oleksiy Oleinik versus Sergey Spivak. For this one, we've got to go with Spivak. Oleinik is 43 years of age, coming off of 2 losses here. Spivak, on the other hand, is on a tear, winning 2 fights, but when he wins, it's pretty violent and pretty aggressive. I think he's going to go in there and, get him out of there. This one, I don't think is going to decision. We're going with the polar bear and Spivak. Marlon Vera versus Davy Grant. I do like Marlon Vera. I think he is a good fighter, despite this weird win against Sean O'Malley and losing the other ones of recent memory, 2020 and on. But at any rate, we have Davy Grant here, and I have a history of sleeping on Davy Grant, most recently against Jonathan Martinez. I'm going to do it again, despite this crazy win streak he's on. I'm going with Marlon Vera. I think Marlon Vera is the better fighter. We're going with Chito Marlon Vera. Tyson Nam versus Tagir Ulan Bekov. We're going with Tagir here. Tyson Nam is 37 years old, so he's getting up there in age. We see he loses a split decision there. On the other hand, we have Tagir. He is coming off a unanimous decision win against Bruno Silva, and if you've been paying attention, that is aging very well. We're going with Tagir here. He's still young. Kind of excited to see his career continue. Diego Lima versus Matt Brown. In Diego Lima's last fight, we see him lose to Bilal Muhammad. He really gets bullied in there, out-wrestled, and just out-pressured. That's not something I think Matt Brown is going to do. Matt Brown's just going to stand up with him. He's also 40 years of age, so that's pretty up there when it comes to the fight game and athleticism in general. We're going with Diego Lima with this one, age being a big factor. Last but not least, we have the main event, Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige. For Korean Zombie, he's always giving us great performances. Yair Rodriguez, Moicano, Frankie Edgar, Brian Ortega, these are all just really great fights. On the other hand, we have Dan Ige. None of these fighters are too old, I would say. I think he's 35 or 34, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. Dan Ige at 29. We have 1 loss to Calvin Kattar in recent history. I know this one's kind of controversial with the Edson Barboza. A lot of people think Edson Barboza won that fight, which I kind of tend to lean that way too. But at any rate, I don't know what it is about Dan Ige, but he's really convinced me that he's going to find a way to win in there. He's very tough, very game. This knockout against Gavin Tucker was really good, although unfortunate because I was hoping to see a lot more of Dan Ige and what he had to bring to the table. This man's always fighting, I've mentioned before, just always trying to fight and get better. Recent father, which I think can definitely push you as well. But at any rate, without getting into those weird intangibles, I do think Dan Ige is just going to be gritty in there, tough in there, and just put a lot of pressure in on Korean Zombie. I think he can take a lot of notes from that last Brian Ortega fight, and we'll see how it goes. But for me, it's Dan Ige. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and consider leaving a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And also feel free to leave a comment on whatever your thoughts are on this fight, any other fight, anything at all. I enjoyed talking with you guys. Always a big thanks to those of you who have subscribed. That number keeps going up and I appreciate it a lot. That is the most helpful thing you can do for me. But anyway, we post every week. That's it for me today. I will see you guys Saturday. Peace.